This morning, I want to talk about the office of President of the United States of America. All presidents take an oath of office. The question is, what does that oath mean to the Congress in relationships to understanding the duties and responsibilities of any president of these United States of America? Police officers take an oath, and when they violate that oath, certain actions are taken or are supposed to be taken against them.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
When I look at this president, President Donald J. Trump, I see myself in the armed forces, for I too took an oath during the Vietnam War era and other wars of this nation. I have also traveled to Brooks County, the little town of Quitman, and behind me you will see a group of black citizens known as the Quitman 10+2. Several of them took an oath of office as elected officials. And the then Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, in 2010, removed them from office, brought 12 black citizens up on bogus voter fraud charges. The voters voted them into office. The governor, Nathan Deal, removed them from office under the leadership of the then Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp. To make a long story short, because I'm not here to talk about the hellhole that the now governor put those black people through for no reason at all except black people was the majority in the positions of power in this little southern town. But what good is the oath or the President of the United States or anybody else unless somebody holds them accountable. To make a long story short, all 12 was exonerated after 4 years because Brian P. Kemp was a disgrace in his actions not only against Equipment 10+2, but across the state of Georgia, which we have documented. But no Georgia news media will publish to you what I have published to you because I love y'all just that much. You see, when I served this country, I took an oath, just like the generals, the lieutenant colonels and the full bird colonels and the majors, captains, and the lieutenants and the enlisted ranks. The code of conduct was changed, I think, in the 90s. But the original one that I learned from memory said, I am an American fighting man. Back then, they didn't have that many women in the military. Mine said, I am an American fighting man, prepared to give my life in the defense of my country. Me being from Brooks County, I didn't know no better. I was willing to die for this country because I believed that it was the land of the free, the home of the brave. But I later found out in too many black graves without justice. My granduncle told me not to go in the military. He said he fought the Germans. And when the war was over, the Germans could go to a water fountain and drink water. But he had to go on the back or to a black or colored water fountain. He told me that the white man, woman, and their children don't give a damn about the black man. But because I was young, my timber was not fully grown. So I put my life on the line for this country. Not knowing what my granduncle was trying to tell me from New York, that they didn't give a damn about you. You wasn't nothing but a damn number. And when your number way out, they erase it and put another one in the place of you. But I took the oath, willing to die for this country. I served 20+ years. Some of the white colonels and generals and majors and that I served under, they put on a happy face on active duty. And they would smile in your face and do you right by the military law. You wouldn't know if they was a Democrat, Republican, Mason, Shrine, or whatever. They kept it all hid, but for the most part. Some of them probably was Klan members. Some was probably white supremacists. But they could hide that in the military, you see. But many of them, when they got out, I live here in Valdosta, and I know some of them now. When they got out of the military, their true colors came out. But I took an oath, an obligation to defend this country. And so now, as I walk and watch what this president is doing, and I think about all those white generals, he had a few black too, that know that this man is trying to undo what the members of our armed forces fought for. And they won't say a damn thing about it. When that man first went into office, if you check my videos, I told y'all what he was trying to do. What is that, Brother Rhymes? He's trying to overthrow this government. I know a lot of you all don't think it can happen to America. But if you would vacate yourself from the ignorance and the lack of knowledge in your religious dome, and listen to what John the Revelator said. Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen, is fallen. Somewhere I read in school and civics lessons, the sun never sets on the Roman Empire. What happened to it? You cannot convince me that this nation cannot be destroyed from within. If you look at the history of this nation under this president, when he first started out, you see him got generals and retired generals up around him when he got in his cabinet. Most of them are gone. But I saw what he was doing by the grace of the God of my black ancestors and the understanding that I have of the scriptures. See, the Bible says, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. I took the oath, and that was to defend this country from both foreign and domestic enemies. And you can fool some of the people some of the times. You can fool all of the people some of the time. But there's a chosen few, a called few, an elected few that you don't fool no time, not even for once. You see, I have friends that voted for Donald Trump. Black friends I'm talking about, and white friends. But there's something else I know too. I know that only when it is dark enough, only when it is dark enough can you see the stars. Defend this country from both foreign and domestic enemies. That's a heavy statement if properly understood. How could a black soldier, airman, Marine, or sailor put his life on the line for this country and see what this president is doing, and they won't say nothing as an act of duty? Disabled, retired military veteran. I've always spoke up because it's the flavor of my nature and the nature of my flavor. Many videos I put up because I love this country. I loved it beyond my duty in the military. That's why I fought on behalf of the Quitman 10+2. And I walked with them. And I was threatened because of them and others that your pastor, your imam, your rabbi, your sheikh, your other religious leaders wouldn't even come and say boo, wouldn't help them, wouldn't stand with them, wouldn't even attend the meetings, wouldn't go to the court case. And I stayed in the courtroom because I took an oath and I took on an obligation to defend this country. Where are the other veterans that have the scars of all the previous wars? And now they see this president tearing it all down. Tearing it down, man, tearing it down. That's what I question my fellow veterans, my federal active duty, members of the armed forces, the Joint Chiefs of Staffs, the Department of Defense. What are you doing, man? Why can't you stand up and remember the oath that you took, like I took? Whenever you see a president or a governor or a mayor are your own family members. Hear the words that the Russians, the communists, paid to have American soldiers killed in Afghanistan. And the President of the United States haven't said nothing yet. What's wrong with the generals? Y'all know that's not right. What's wrong with the Congress? You know that's not right. You know that's disrespect. How can you say you love this country? And how could the other 45 presidents get it wrong and this one get it right? By acting and moving like no other president in the history of this nation. Now, I cannot be quiet because I first got to be true to myself. And in being true to myself, I must speak truth to power. This president is about to overthrow this government while the American people sit, say, and do nothing for the most part. Yet, when this government called on you, your mother, your father, your children, to go fight to preserve our rights, they buckled up and put on a uniform like I did. And now you've seen a man in the Oval Office tearing down everything that those men and women are in uniform today with their life on the line defending, they say. Somebody in this country must tell the truth or we don't deserve the freedoms that we have. Can I get an amen from somebody? Now, I know most of you all don't care, but I care about all those men and women in Arlington Cemetery. I care about all those men and women right now on secret missions in foreign nations as spies, fighting for our freedom, doing things that they could be killed for. And our president gonna try to circumvent the power of the vote. Senators and representatives sitting down waiting on an election. What in the hell are you waiting on an election for? Get him for violating his office oath. And you know he violated his oath of office. I've been across the state of Georgia, and I can call out the mayors, black mayors, and others that they call up and say they violated their oath of office. They say Meggs, Linda Harris, violated her oath of office. Rufus Davis, Camilla, Georgia, they say he violated his oath of office. Lumpkin, Georgia, they say Mayor Gift, and I could go on all across the state of Georgia. And some of them was moved from office, removed from office. Some black district attorneys are now in prison. They tried like hell to remove Olivia Coley Pearson in Douglas, Georgia. But when they called me, I went because I took an oath in the military. And if it was good enough in the military, truly it should have been good enough out of the military. This is why I do what I'm doing today. Because if I was willing to die on foreign lands for people that I did not know, then should I not be willing to die for the Quitman 10+2. Should not I be willing to die for Linda Harris in Meigs, Georgia, Rufus Davis in Camilla, Georgia, Charles Gibson in Lumpkin, Georgia, Christopher Wright in Dawson, Georgia, that was shot 6 times and left in his mama's yard for dead? Should not I be willing to die for voting rights in Clayton County, Georgia? Should I not be willing to die for Warrenton Mayor George Ivey? Should I not be willing to die for the people in Spartan, Hancock County, Georgia? And the news media will not go back and connect the dots on these men and women who wicked white folks are attacking and have removed some from office and tried to put them in prison with the help of the police and the judicial circuit. I'm willing to die for Davisboro, Georgia city council members who was catching hell by the chief of police there. I could come all around to Telfair County, Douglas, Georgia, Willacoochee, Georgia, Homerville, Georgia, and others, not to mention up in the Athens and Augusta area. When we wrote letters for help for the Quitman 10+2, I'm a record with the Get To Free Press. And we sent DVDs to President Barack Obama. We sent proof to Eric Holder of the Department of Justice, signed off by Jesse Jackson, attorney, signed off by Joseph Lowry, signed off by Tyrone Brooks, and other powerful black leaders in the black community. And President Barack Obama didn't say a damn thing about it. Eric Holder didn't do nothing. MSNBC didn't connect the dots of what I'm telling you about. CNN and Victor Blackwell didn't connect the dots and still haven't. No Associated Press have gone through and published what I've published. You see, I took on an oath, an obligation in the armed forces, and I still respect it and honor it until this day. And I'll respect it until I die. That I am an American fighting man, prepared to give my life in the defense of my country. Yeah. So Congress, you know this president have violated his oath of office. You know that no president in the history of this nation have done the destruction that this president has done. He brought and is bringing disgrace not only here in America, but around the world, to the nation that your sons and daughters fought for. Your sons and daughters suffered, bled, died, lost limbs in foreign nations of the world. And now you see this president proving himself to be a racist. Not for black folk, but for all people that are not in the clique and among the slicks of his circle. And I want to say to you all, I don't want to speak too ill of this president, because I want you all to know who's becoming despondent. I want you to know that God of the black man, woman, and their children is still in control, keeping watch over his own. God is using this man Call to Donald Trump so you'll know your neighbors. Yesterday, you didn't know your neighbors. But today, look at the signs in their yards. And you'll know your neighbor from now on. Both black and white, Jew and Gentile, Protestant, Catholic, Christians, and others. Now you know them. Thanks to the man God allowed to go into the Oval Office. You see, God wanted to reveal to the black man, woman, and their children why God sent them an easterly course from Africa to come over here and help save these white folk from themselves before they destroy themselves. I know the price was high, but if you look in the book of Deuteronomy, you will see the history of the black man and why we had to come to America. I wish I could talk with you on that subject as well. I ask you, stop listening to your pastor so much. Stop bowing to your imam so much. Stop bowing to the monk so much. And bow to the God that's in your soul. God put something in man that's like a clock. It keeps ticking. God wants you to listen to what he put on the inside. You can throw your Bible away and I would still be on God's side. Because God said in the book of Genesis, everything that God made, he put his seed within it. The New Testament says, and ye shall have an unction from the Holy One, and you would know all things. Thank God for the Bible. But if there was no Bible, Quran, or Gita among the Indians or other holy books, there's something in man, just like a pine tree, got its seed within itself. And a pine tree will never produce an oak tree. And an oak tree will never produce a peanut. And a peanut will never produce a carrot. Now, you can do your genetic engineering or whatever you want to do to it, but God didn't do it. You can take a man and call him a woman. You can take a woman and turn him into a man. But in the final analysis, the seed that God put in the human being is there. The snake don't change. The turkey don't change. The bumblebee don't change. Everything that God made got a seed within itself. And when you get outside of the seed of what God ordained, then you can't even produce yourself. Let two women get together and do whatever they want to do. Do it on the Bible. Do it on the Quran. Do it on the Gita. Do it on the water. Do it on the dirt. Do it in the air. There won't be no babies because there's no seed within it. Get two men together, and the same thing that God said in the book of Genesis, stand true. But we have allowed the enemy to make fools out of us. Devils, beasts in human form. If you don't believe what I'm saying, read about Nebuchadnezzar. See what he did. Ate grass from the field. Go to the book of Revelations and look at those used to be human beings, but John called them beasts. Beasts. And we today are beasts, many of us. If you can have a baby, father a baby, by the woman that God made special, and then walk away from your responsibility to raise that child, you're not a human being. You are a beast in human form. If we didn't mess up the dogs would live in packs and families. But no, our minds are so messed up. As soon as the jip drop the pup. We take the pup from the gyp. She don't get to enjoy her puppies. You do. And you don't even think about it. You don't even think about it. So God, according to Apostle Paul to the Galatians 6 and 7 says, and I'll close on this note, God is not mocked, for whatsoever a man sow, that shall he also reap. America, Babylon the Great, is fallen, is fallen. You interfered with the government in Iraq, Iran, and other governments around the world. You brought down governments. You murdered Muammar Gaddafi because he had something more that resembled a real democracy than America. For you all who done condemn me on that subject, read the Green Book that I read over 20 years ago by Muammar Gaddafi called The Green Book and the Third Universal Theory by Gaddafi. Don't get the fake one that they done put out there. Get the original that I have. Muammar Gaddafi was a powerful man. If he would have listened to the Nation of Islam leader, Minister Louis Farrakhan, he may be alive today. Farrakhan warned Muammar Gaddafi not to have no ties with the United States of America and not to trust them. But he let his guard down, and they took him down. Now, if you want to know more about that, you don't have to take my word for it. Google some of Cynthia McKinney's writings. Google and you will find out why they murdered Muammar Gaddafi. You see, when people of that caliber is sent from God, we don't listen to them. We cut them off when they start speaking, or we'll give them 5 minutes, but never 25. What did Muammar Gaddafi wanted besides a real democracy and to change the world? Do you know his people went to school, didn't have to pay? Yeah, I'm not creating this. But they couldn't take it when Muammar Gaddafi said that Africa must unite and become one nation. He said that we got to back our currency up, get one currency throughout the continent, become one nation, and back our money against the minerals that is beneath the earth that's in Africa. Because God put the wealth in the ground. And that was too powerful for those who want to control the resources of the planet. But little did they know that God gave us an oath too. What is that oath, Brother Rines? To obey him, not to take up weapons of war against the European white man from Europe. What we must do is to speak truth to power. You nurses who know the truth about the coronavirus, you who are at the CDC that know the truth about the coronavirus, you got to stand up and tell it. You got to expose these demons so St. John 2:38 can come in play. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set and make you free. Our current president knows that. This is why he say everything is fake news. He don't want you to have the truth, because he know, like I know, that when truth comes, falsehood vanishes, and falsehood is forever a vanishing thing. So I'm saying to you, don't you bow to Satan followers. God always used broken things. Yeah, man. Don't let nobody fool you, man. The things that you think are nothing, God used them to fulfill his divine mission. Dr. King was sent from God to try and help save America from herself before she destroys herself. I'll close now, and this is no joke. I will close on this note. Beware of the president, but just remember, he's not a God beside God. Just remember that. When God get ready to clip his wings, he's going to clip them. And I want to say about all the police brutality across this country, let's stand up and fight like Black Lives Matter. But there's another matter we got to practice. We got to practice the words of Jesus, and that is to love ye one another. Black man, black woman, and black children. Stop killing yourselves. Stop killing yourselves. And stop killing white people. You don't have to shoot down the police. God told us, properly understood, that this is not the black man's war. This war belonged to God. And God don't want us fighting for him. According to scriptures, he's capable of winning his own war. The forces of nature almost, well, it did, made Vice President Plain land yesterday. That was just from a little bird. When the forces of nature come down on America, oh, you haven't seen nothing yet. And then they're going to reflect back to what Dr. King said. They killing us, yes. Shooting us down like wild dogs, like they did in the year 1555. But just remember, Dr. King said, and I'm going to close it, we're going to show the white man, the European man, woman, and their children, Dr. King said, we're going to wear you down without firing a weapon. We're going to wear you down by our ability to suffer. We've been suffering in this country, not since 1619. That's a lie. Been suffering here in North America from the year 1555, when Sir John Hawkins came over on the, brought those slaves over on the slave ship. Google it. I know y'all calling me a lie. I'm not a lying man. God didn't call me, choose me, and elect me to be a liar. God called me to speak truth to power. And I've been doing this since 1975. 1975. And I ain't no ways tired yet. Well, I get fed up with black people sometimes because they see black women that are suffering across the state of Georgia and they won't come out to help them. I hear Stacey Abrams. I want to commend that black, beautiful sister for what she's doing. But ask Stacey Abrams when you see her again. Ask her, have she been to those cities that I called? Ask her, have she went and talked to those Democrats who said they was not going to vote for the Democratic Party because in their cities and counties, when they called the Democratic chairman, Du Bois Porter, to come and assist them to at least give ear and try to get the news media to tell their stories, and none came, but the Democratic Party didn't show up. So you got black folk here in Georgia who said years ago in Sylvester at a meeting and a group of people saying they would never vote for the Democratic Party again because the Democratic Party don't give a damn about the black man, woman, and their children. They are just pimping us. Stacey Abrams in the Democratic Party, y'all still ignoring them cities that I've called. But you got people in those communities, Democratic Party, who say you all wouldn't come help them and say they were not going to vote Democratic Party no more. And that was 2012. Y'all better wake up. Black people are now waking up. Psalm 68:31 says, princes shall come out of Egypt, and Ethiopia shall soon stretch forth a hand unto God. That means the mass of the people are waking up. The Democratic Party nor the Republican Party will be able to control the religious and holy mind in the heads of black people. If you take an oath, remember your oath. But no oath surpasses the oath that God gave you as a human being, and that is to tell the truth. St. Matthew 24:35 says, heaven and earth will pass away, but my word, my oath, will stand forever. Peace be unto you. For the few of you who wanted to stick around and listen to this, you are special. Devil worshipers don't want this. They want me to shake a booty, play a game, and not speak truth to power. And to be so damn weak, I don't stand before political leaders and tell them the truth, knowing that without truth, there can be no freedom. Have a nice day. God bless you. If you didn't see the beginning of this, go on my few days YouTube, Boston G.B.R. on Facebook, and watch the whole video and share it with your friend. Don't keep it to yourself. I didn't say it in private, and I don't mean for it to be private. You can share it if you want. If you don't, God bless you. Peace be unto you. And let us be a blessing to each other by not shooting each other down like wild dogs. Stop talking about your neighbor just because they don't look good as you do, just because they don't drive a Rolls Royce like you. They ride a bicycle, but guess what? They got a soul just like you, and they need to hear a kind word every now and then. Bye-bye, we're gone.